Got it. Okay, it says it's streaming. I'm sure there's nobody watching this online right now, but if you're watching the recording, just hang on while we get a few things set up.
I'm actually watching it online.
Oh, are you? Okay, I am going to share this link.
Okay.
With on the Telegram channel. All right.
All right.
There we go. Okay, cool. I'll let that run. If anybody can just verify that we are actually live on YouTube, that would be great.
You are verified.
All right, thank you. Okay, well, welcome everyone to the Permissionless Software Foundation Technical Steering Committee meeting. It is Wednesday, September 8th. And let's go ahead and do a brief round of introductions. I'll start. My name is Chris Troutner. I helped found the PSF with some of the people here. And I also maintain fullstack.cash, which is a blockchain service and I'm here every week, so people should probably know who I am. Stoyan, you want to give a little introduction to yourself?
My name is Stoyan Zhekov, and I'm helping with the support for the JavaScript libraries for the PSF. That's all from me.
Right on. Go ahead, Aaron Shoemaker.
My name is Aaron Shoemaker, and I am helping Chris with the developer school, and I'm working on helping to develop NFTs and NFT protocols for digital assets.
Right on. Go ahead, Aaron.
You get that? Am I?
Got it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Well, I'm Aaron Sundman, and I've been a big fan of the Permissionless Software Foundation from the beginning. And really, even just when you first put that liquidity app up, I don't know if people know about it, people watching this, but the ability to purchase PSF tokens just by sending BCH and having us all happen quickly is an amazing piece of feeling like you're a part of something. And so now I really wanted to join this because I feel like the movement here, if things are going to happen in the crypto space, it's going to have to be permissionless. And I feel like a lot of walls have been set up in the past in other cryptos and in crypto communities. So I feel like this is such a big way to move forward. So I appreciate what you're doing, and I want to be a part of it.
Right on. No gatekeepers. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share the agenda for the day. 1 second, working on it. Share screen. There we go. And I want to share this screen. Okay, so like all of our previous meetings, which we have every 2 weeks, this is really an opportunity for us to celebrate our technical accomplishments over the last couple weeks. The agenda, as always, is on github.com under the Permissionless Software Foundation GitHub group, under the TSC repository for Technical Steering Committee, and the agendas are filed as GitHub issues. And so this is our agenda for the day. So we'll go through the agenda, kind of give an update on what's happening with the software maintained by the Permissionless Software Foundation, and then we'll go into a roundtable where we can just talk about interesting tech and news items. And looking forward to Stoyan. He usually brings some good ones, and I see he's been messing around with Smart BCH, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. But to go through the agenda real quick, let me see if I can actually make this bigger. So there hasn't really been any updates with the PSF core software, which includes BCH API, BCH.js, JavaScript library, and the Gatsby Ipfs web wallet, which is a Gatsby theme. Those are all pretty mature. There are going to be some changes coming up, but nothing's happened. Most of the focus and energy with myself and Daniel and Gary, who are the three, I think, very active contributors, is mostly focused on the pay-to-write database and the JSON RPC over IPFS. So there's been a lot of activity here. Let me point out the pay-to-write database API documentation has been updated. You can access it at p2wd.fullstack.cache. And mainly what's been updated is the inputs and the output examples. So you have, let me see. So for instance, if you want to write data to the pay-to-write database, there's much better examples of the kind of data input that you need to give it. Like here's an example of a JSON RPC command. And then here's an example of the kind of output you could expect to get. Or if you wanted to read an entry in the database by its hash, here's the input that you'd give it, and here's the output you can expect. So we use API docs, and it's really nice how it formats all that. So yeah, having good documentation for this API, very important. And as I go, if you guys have comments, please interrupt me. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through this. But if there's any questions or comments, please interrupt me. Okay, so that's the documentation. Chat.fullstack.cache. I won't bring that up. It's a little bit of a misnomer. It is an end-to-end encrypted chat app. If you ever need to like securely transfer data between two computers with a web browser, that's all you need. Just bring it up in a web browser, and we've added, but it's mostly a developer tool. So that's why it's a bit of a misnomer. We use it most primarily for debugging nodes on our IPFS network. And but the features that Daniel added is when it comes up, if you haven't created a wallet, it'll automatically create a wallet, which was something you had to do before, because you don't really use it as a wallet. The wallet is just used for the end-to-end encryption. You need a Bitcoin Cash address because that's used to encrypt all the messages end-to-end. So it just does that automatically. You don't have to think about that. And then it drops you right into the status window, which is sort of gives you the up-to-date information as the app connects to the other nodes across the IPFS network. So if anybody's using that tool, those are just some really handy features. Nothing's really changed. It's just more convenient.
Now you do need to have some BCH in order to send a message, correct?
No, because the messages are just go over IPFS, and so it's just uses the private and public keys that are behind the Bitcoin Cash address. So it doesn't actually touch the Bitcoin Cash network. It doesn't actually generate any transactions.
That's awesome. So anybody could just go to this chat.fullstack.cache and just begin using it as a messenger service right now.
Yeah, I use it all the time. I mean, I have many computers that I maintain, and I'm constantly like spinning up new computers and spinning them down. And so I have this chicken and egg problem where I have a new computer and I need to securely transfer information to it, like passwords or mnemonics. And that's what's so highly convenient about this app is I can just bring it up in a web browser and bam, I automatically, without having to think about it or do anything, I have end-to-end encryption.
That's awesome.
That's a great use case that there's not a lot else out there. If you were in a Mac space, you might be doing it with iMessage, but that's a great use case that I don't think has been brought up as being you solved quite nicely. Thanks.
Yeah, it's just getting more useful every day as we add features to it and think about how to make it better. So yeah, that's mostly Daniel. He's really our top gun for front end work. While he was at it, he also increased the number of BCH end-to-end tests. So I'll get into this IPFS BCH wallet service a little more, but what it is people who are watching this are probably familiar with fullstack.cache and the BCH.js JavaScript library, and that's powered with the BCH API. Well, IPFS BCH wallet service is the way to get that same cloud service, but over IPFS rather than over HTTP or the regular web. And if you want to play with that service, if you want to set up your own, there's, in fact, let me just bring it up. So this is the repository, and mainly they're in the test E2E manual. What you can do is you can simulate a client. So this service is like the back-end service. And so what this test is it simulates the front-end service or a client consuming those services. And so it spins up an IPFS node, it finds and connects to the server or to the service, and then checks a balance. I don't know, does a few different things. So he added some additional tests. So we're trying to keep these in line so that we can test, we have an end-to-end test for what the consumer would actually go through. So really important for quality control. This is a big one that I've spent the last few weeks on. IPFS, it's the Interplanetary file system. It's a big project. Their primary implementation is in Go, but JavaScript is their secondary implementation. And so I forked the JavaScript implementation, and for a couple reasons. One is to code freeze it, because we're building a lot of software on top of that right now. And IPFS is alpha software. The code base is constantly changing. So we don't want something to change out from under us and break something that we depend on. So I needed to freeze the code for that reason. Also, we also heavily depend on OrbitDB, which is a database that goes across the IPFS network. And that only works with an older, it doesn't work with the current version of IPFS. It only works with 0.55.4 is the highest version of IPFS that it works with. So that was another reason for freezing the code base, was so that we could work with this older version of IPFS until OrbitDB catches up. But there's also a bug in that particular version of IPFS. There's a couple of them. There's a memory leak, which we're still currently dealing with. That's not terribly difficult to deal with, because you can just reset your app every few hours and clear the memory. But the big bug was what I discovered was a preloader or preloading. It's this feature where it, like the word, it tries to preload data, and a lot of times it gets it wrong and it loads data that you don't even need. And it's just this huge, I've done a few videos on this where when I was trying to figure out what the root cause was, where it would just shut down chat.fullstack.cache, like the computer would just freeze because it was trying to like download and process all this unnecessary data that had nothing to do with the application you're actually trying to use. So I managed to find and kill that bug in IPFS. And so now all of our software is behaving correctly. So that's a good thing. But that was a massive project. It's something I've been wanting to do for a few years. And so this was the excuse I needed to do it. So it's pretty, now I have a better understanding of the inner workings of the JavaScript implementation of IPFS. So that's good. That's good, because it's an amazing piece of technology. So that's that. That was a big, lot of effort went into that. We launched the Psf Bch Wallet. I really encourage everyone to play with this. It is a command line wallet, and I have some videos linked here on YouTube. One is how to install and use the wallet, and the other one is interacting with the pay-to-write database using that wallet. And it's a command line wallet, but unlike our other command line wallet, SLP CLI wallet, it's a single address wallet, and it leverages minimal SLP wallet. And this is really important in terms of the PSF in our future trajectory. So let me explain the relationship between the Psf Bch Wallet, chat.fullstack.cache, and wallet.fullstack.cache. And I have this diagram that is probably, it's a little fuzzy, but basically if you go to wallet.fullstack.cache, that's our web wallet, and it is based on this Gatsby IPFS web wallet, which is a Gatsby theme. And this is one of the core pieces of software that the PSF maintains. And so if you look at these arrows, this is a dependency graph. So wallet.fullstack.cache depends on Gatsby IPFS web wallet, which depends on minimal SLP wallet, which depends on BCH API. So minimal SLP wallet is a JavaScript library. It uses BCH.js JavaScript, and it pulls data, blockchain data from BCH API. And in the case of wallet.fullstack.cache, it's doing that in a centralized way. It's using REST API over HTTP, which is how all apps on the web are built today. And they also suffer from the potential censorship issues of where someone can take down the domain. They can easily block your website or your backend service with a firewall. All the common ways in which censorship on the internet happens today happens because of we're so dependent on REST API over HTTP.
Right.
So
it's a pretty flimsy connection because any one of those can be shut down.
Yeah. So to summarize it into one category, it's location-based addressing, which is what distinguishes IPFS, which is content-based addressing. And IPFS is not subject to that type of censorship because it uses content-based address. So if people are unfamiliar with those terms, I really encourage you to investigate location-based addressing versus content-based addressing. Very important concept in understanding the value of IPFS. So where this new paradigm that we're exploring, this JSON RPC over IPFS comes in, is the best way to just immediately start interacting with that is with the Psf Bch command line wallet, because that only uses JSON RPC over IPFS. They both the web wallet and this command line wallet, they both rely on minimal SLP wallet, and minimal SLP wallet has the ability to switch between either network type. It can either use REST API over HTTP, or it can use JSON RPC over IPFS. And it's just a variable that you give it when you initialize that library as to which one you want to use. And if it's using REST API, then it expects you to give it a URL for a backend server running BCH API, which is usually, it'll default to fullstack.cache, but you can also run your own. And if you select JSON RPC over IPFS, it'll reach out, it'll spin up really the wallet does this, where it spins up an IPFS node and reaches out to find one IPFS BCH wallet service, of which there are many. I think there are currently 3, and I'm in the process of setting up a 4th one. And these are all independent servers that are running their own cache stack. So if one of them goes down, it won't affect the other ones. And so that's the power of this, is not only is it difficult to censor because it's content-based addressing instead of location-based addressing, it's also much more resilient because the wallet only needs to find one of many service providers, as opposed to the REST API over HTTP, which is usually focused on a service provider that you focus on scaling vertically, and the way traditional web stuff is done. So this is a very different paradigm, and I'm very excited about moving into this new paradigm because as state actors crack down on crypto and introduce regulation, this is the most pragmatic way to circumvent that. And so the PSF is all about empowering individuals to protect their privacy, circumvent censorship, and engage in economic activity. So this is very much in line with our mission.
So essentially,
So thank you for letting me get that all out.
Excellent. Nice. Aaron was about to summarize it, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say essentially content-based addressing works because it can be on multiple different servers all around the world. It's looking for the CID, whereas it's not going to one location like a location-based addressing.
Exactly, because you have a cryptographic guarantee that the information you requested has not been tampered with. You can safely get it from anyone, whereas with location-based addressing, you don't have that guarantee. So you have to, you can't just trust some random person on the internet to give you the content. You have to go to that location where you know you can get the right information.
Awesome.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, so I really encourage everyone to check out these videos, and I've also got another video on my same channel that talks about this trajectory about location content versus location addressing versus content addressing. And it walks through that diagram a little bit more. So that's been the big push this last 2 or 3 weeks since our last meeting. A lot of work has gone into that, into setting up the wallet, setting up the service providers, and setting up a few initial. And I'll just jump to the bottom. We have bounties that pay out in PSF. If you want to click on this up, circuit relays, which is really lightweight servers. You can run them on a Raspberry Pi, but you need to have a domain name and a permanent IP address in order to qualify for the bounty, because that's what makes like a good circuit relay. And those circuit relays are critical because they help all the nodes that otherwise wouldn't be able to talk to one another by routing through a circuit relay. So we want to have, right now I think there's 4 that I've spun up, but I mean, we want to have preferably 10 would be great. That would be very hard to censor anything on the internet if we had 10 circuit relays. And then there's also a bigger bounty for people who want to run a full cache stack and run one of these wallet services over that. And so we'll reward you monthly in PSF tokens if you set one up and maintain it.
So, Chris, you said you want about 10 of the circuit relays. How many do you see as important, like in short term and long term, for the full cache stack? On the
that's a good question. I don't know if there's a clear answer to that. I mean, more is better. But what it really comes down to is geographic location. The idea there is to have any one node located anywhere in the world should be able to find and connect to a circuit relay that's geographically close to them with low latency. And if they can do that, then they have a really good connection to the rest of the network.
Right.
And and I've noticed that latency is very, very geographic centric and internet centric. Like my desktop, even with the same internet connection, my desktop has a much easier time of connecting to circuit relays in Europe. But I have a little Raspberry Pi, and for whatever reason, it really has a hard time connecting to European servers. But it can find all the American servers because I'm in America.
Right.
So, and this is sort of the nature of a mesh network, is like a lot of times you just kind of have to, you're just kind of testing the wind. Like there's not a whole lot of forward knowledge as to like why it behaves in a certain way. But yeah, so the blanket answer is more is better. I mean, 4 right now is pretty good, but if we had 10 that were geographically distributed around the world, then I don't think anyone could censor anything that we do.
Can somebody spin those up
question.
on like cloud servers?
Yeah. So the bounty, in fact, the bounty is 25 PSF, which at current prices is like $15-20. So if someone goes to the effort of spinning up a circuit relay, I mean, it on a cloud server like DigitalOcean or Vultr or Linode or Hetzner or AWS, like this should be more than enough to cover your costs,
right,
and make a little bit extra. Or if you want to participate in government, please consider holding the tokens.
Right.
Yeah, that's the idea.
I think that if it can run on a Raspberry Pi, you could do a DigitalOcean one, which would be $5-6 a month, and run it in Singapore. Or I've not done much with Linode, but I have with DigitalOcean. So I feel like that's a worthwhile thing to have out there, as well as that's certainly enough money to support that.
Yeah. And then there's a bigger bounty for the wallet service. Now, what's nice about the wallet service is people can run these in the convenience of their own home. You don't need to have a cloud server or a good internet. A good internet connection would be nice, but you don't necessarily need to have a good internet connection. The main requirement here is you need, I think I have it listed here. Yeah, you need 32 gigabytes of memory. That's about that, just based on the testing that I've done to run a full cache stack. That's what's required in about 1 terabyte solid state drive. So if you have a computer kicking around that has a 1 terabyte hard drive and a 32 gigabytes of memory, you should be able to run this entire stack. And I will coach anyone who wants to do this, because it is actually a big learning curve, learning how to set up all this software. But you can do it in a couple days, and you can run it, like I said, from the convenience of your own home. You don't need to worry about any of the networking or domain names or cores or SSL certs. Like, all of that goes away because we leverage the circuit relays.
Great. I mean, that's one of those that I think that I did look it up. It's, it's maybe $150 per month if you're trying to run a 32 gig on a, SSD so having it at home seems like anyone can do it as long as they can take the time and have a, $400 machine available.
Yeah, I actually just bought 3 of them off eBay for, I think they're about $425 each. Refurbished Dell desktops with 32 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD hard drive. Yeah, you buy it once and then you just plug it in.
Right.
It sits there and you get rewarded in PSF tokens. So good. I'm glad we got to spend some time on the bounties. That was one of the other big things I wanted to get out there. Just to cover this item, Gary Nadir, who is another active developer for the PSF, he's sort of our resident AVIX developer or Avalanche developer. And so as I push forward with the code on basically the code in this diagram, he's coming up behind me, and he's building the exact same software on the Avalanche blockchain. So we forked Minimal SLP wallet and created Minimal AVIX wallet, which is what he's actively working on right now. And so all the same functionality in one library will be in the other. And then he's also going to create, I think we might have already created it, PSF-AVIX wallet. So you'll have the exact same commands, exact same user experience, but you'll be on the Avalanche network instead of the Bitcoin Cash network. And we've already built a bridge. So this command line app that we're building will be the easy way to move tokens across blockchains. And so that will be consistently like behind the Bitcoin Cash wallet. So I'll push forward with Bitcoin Cash features, and then he'll come up behind and replicate everything on the Avalanche chain. And then Daniel will be doing the same thing on the web wallet, trying to move the new features that we put into the command line wallet and move them into the web wallet. So that's sort of the plan there, our planned trajectory. The only last thing to mention on the agenda is the budget. We're at the end of Q3, or no, the end of Q2. We're about to start Q3. Do I have that right? No, we're ending Q3. We're about to start Q4. And so we need to do a budget. It's going to be pretty boring, just like last quarter's was. It's just the bare minimum to keep the lights on, and it should be budget neutral because the income coming in from fullstack.cash should cover the expenses like they has been. So it'll be pretty boring, but look for that budget. I'll announce the budget proposal in the Telegram channel next week, and people can go vote on it. And that'll just be for funding our infrastructure for next quarter in PSF tokens.
Right on.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that concludes the agenda. So now let's go into the roundtable, and Stoyan, lay it on us, man. What have you been doing? I saw you've been active in the Smart BCH thing. Tell us about it.
Yeah. I need about 30 minutes. Is it okay?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was like for about 2 weeks already now in the Smart universe, and it's very addicting. I'm like, I need to go to the meetings already. Like, my name is Stoyan and I'm addict because I cannot sleep anymore. And yeah, but yeah, it's a very interesting area. I was trying Ethereum like smart contracts before many years, but now I needed to relearn a lot of stuff. So yeah. Let's first put some context for the conversation. So what is the smart contract in general? It's a transactions processor. Like you send some transactions in the special format and it's do something. So in our current BCH universe, we have one huge processors like this one, the whole SOP infrastructure. We just send transaction in the special format, and this infrastructure get this transaction, process them, save them, like make some relations, everything. So it's nice in the terms that because it's one processor, it's forcing same rules for everybody. So we have transactions in the same format, like same commands, like Genesis, send, mint, everything. So it's very convenient. But in the Ethereum world, you can have a special address which can do a processing of transaction. This is the smart contract. So you send this specially formatted transactions, not like broadcasting them, but to a special address, and it's doing something. So every smart contract has address. This is the one. And every smart contract is a processor. You send their transactions, it's doing something. So it's pretty good, but there's one problem with this one. Everybody can do what they want. So it's like chaos. So there's no one processor, no one, no common rules for everybody. All of these addresses, they can have their own rules. So in the beginning of this era, there was everybody putting hello world contracts, counter contracts, all of them. So they decide, okay, it's like dark side path. So let's put some common rules. So they start creating some standards. And most of them are, the famous one, the ERC20. It's Ethereum request for comment number 20, which is for the fungible tokens. It was maybe one of the first ones. And so what's, can I show my screen?
Yeah, I have it enabled.
Like, I want to show some interesting stuff there. Can you see this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so how these contracts looks
Maybe
like.
zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
One or two. Yeah, perfect. That's better.
So they are written in some special language named Solidity. And you compile them, and finally, you have them on the blockchain in something like this one, some binary code. This is the final result. But you start with some Solidity code. And it's like functions. These are the commands that your smart contract will allow. So you send some transactions with a special format, telling it, okay, execute this function, and it will do something. So, but this Solidity in the initial form is awful environment. It's like even Vitalik is, how to see, telling it's awful, please do not use Solidity, use some Viper or something, because it's very unsafe. Like, for example, if you have some special functions which will add or remove from your balance, there is no check for 0. So when you go down, 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 you can go in minus, something like this one. So pretty awful. And because of this one, everybody start creating their own libraries for safe mathematics. So for example, let's see one token which is doing this one. So if you see these guys, they implementing here some safe math, which will do all of this operation. It will check, is it below 0 or something.
Mhm.
And this one is very ineffective. Everybody, this guy, Ben, in fact, this is the Ben swap, the first DEX on Smart BCH. So it's great stuff. He just, he forked the pancake, the
Okay.
Bitcoin most like popular one, and he just created this DEX on the Smart BCH.
So let me repeat that backstory to make sure I understand it. So because I saw you post something about this in the Smart BCH Telegram channel. So these contracts, they're a collection of verified or vetted contracts that do like safe math operations and safe common smart contract things. So rather than rolling your own crypto, which everybody knows is a bad idea, leverage these contracts.
No. In the moment, this guy is leveraging his own contracts. This will be the next step I will talk about.
Oh,
this guy decided, okay, I will do all by myself. No external dependencies. I will do my smart, safe math. So he done everything. And he's doing this in every one of his tokens.
Okay.
So this is the one way. You just create everything by yourself. And it's good, but it's not very effective. Because of this, there is the group named Open Zeppelin. This is the library of ready contracts. Its interfaces means like almost ready contracts. So how you use this thing, it's extremely easy. So my first gem for today, I will have 3 or 4 gems for today. The first gem is Open Zeppelin. Just remember this. These guys are like they're the top guys. So I wanted to show just a second. So I have some tokens created with their libraries. And in general, it looks like this one. This is my token. Just like importing these guys. So I want it to be ERC20, to be burnable, to be ownable, means to have an owner and something. And I just give it name and symbol. This is O.
Wow.
And I just meant in the beginning, like something for me.
Right.
This is everything you need to have your own very, very, very professional token. It will do all of this safe stuff. It will be great. So these guys.
When it says ownable, that means that the contract doesn't own it. An individual person with a wallet can own it. Is that what that means?
Means how to see, when you deploy this contract, some address will be owner. So you can give it some special permissions. So not the wallet, the deployer usually become owner of this contract. So yeah, so these guys make so great stuff, like they have even wizard. So you can do this even without any coding. You just put here like TC, what was TCF token for today, and we want to mint it, to burn it. Even we can pause it. So you can pause the contracts. So it will not be useful for a while. You can permit something. So you just with one click have a professional token.
So it's essentially, I want to clarify something here. It feels like, I mean, this was all built for Ethereum. But because Smart BCH exists now, we can take all that Solidity stuff, all the Open Zeppelin stuff, and act upon in the Smart BCH world.
Yes.
Which it opens up BCH to a whole new level of capabilities because of that.
Like it's still not very. If I just step a little aside to talk about Smart BCH, in the moment, in order to use this sidechain, you need to go to this CoinFlex, and you deposit there some real BCH, and when you go to so you deposit like usually BCH here. When you go to withdraw, there is the 2 tabs, BCH and SEP20. So if you withdraw from this tab, you just put here Ethereum address on your MetaMask, and you have this BCH transferred to this smart BCH, so you can do all of this magic with the contracts.
Right.
And in the future,
So I'm pretty
they
sure
are playing-
Americans aren't
Can't.
allowed to use this. But so use a VPN or contact Stoyan and
Yeah,
have him
but
launder money
in
for
fact,
you.
they are planning in the moment. It's almost done to have how to say smart contract to do this automatically. So we'll not need to go there. It will be something like PCF, like liquidity. Just put the BCH, it's go.
Roger had a video just recently on CoinFlex, and so Roger Veer, and so I went out here and tried it out, and I went, "Oh, US not allowed." Okay, VPN,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, this is the bad news. It's the only how to see gateway in the moment to go there through these guys. But in fact, the great stuff about this, what I'm talking about, is you can use this not only on smart BCH, you can use it on Avalanche, you can use it on maybe what was the Atom one, the Moonbeam or something. So this is the common knowledge. It's like if you start from here, you'll have your professional token in minutes.
nice.
And these Ethereum guys, they're like so cutting edge. You can have upgradable contracts. So they're deploying some proxy contract in front, and you can replace the implementation behind it. So it will have always one address, but you can have different code behind it, which is
Wow.
great for tokens, for example. If you
Right.
decide to change your behavior, you don't need to update all the dexes if you upgrade in this way. So definitely first gem, Open Zeppelin. Go there and make your tokens with their libraries.
Hey, Stoyan, can you rewind a minute? You said if you deploy your contract, you need to do a change. You don't have to redeploy if you used it. Can you expand on that?
Okay, it's a little still cutting edge, but if you check this code, it's in fact will be two contracts. One is named proxy contract, and it has some like address. So all of the transaction going to this thing, like for example, mint, burn, everything, it's going there. But in fact, this token have one more token behind it, the real implementation, which will do the real work. But you can, like with this code, you can upgrade the behind contract, and this front proxy will update his code to use the new like shadow contract. So for the all users and dexes, the address will stay always the same, like the proxy address.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so I did not know that this existed, because if people are interested in this, another little tidbit of information that might be useful. Colin Daly, who is a developer on the Avalanche chain, he has a tweet where he walks through how to deploy a contract to an address and then do it in a way so that that address is the same on every EVM chain. So you could deploy on Avalanche and Ethereum and Smart BCH, and all the contracts would have the exact same address. And then I could see that combined with this would be really awesome.
This seems to be some common like pattern. Open Zeppelin, they just implemented one version. It's like a common coding pattern, the proxy contract and the implementation contract. So I think this Avalanche is also doing the same pattern. They just implemented it more broadly to be not only one chain, but many chains. But I mean, with Open Zeppelin, you just need to replace your includes with this one, updates. Just add updates to your like here, burnable update or something.
Is Hard Hat, is this idea essentially what Hard Hat is known for, or is Hard Hat a more general tool?
Okay, my next gem will be Hard Hat. So be patient.
Okay.
It's full of gems today.
Yeah. So let's finish then with the first gem. It's too long. I don't want to show it anymore. Open Zeppelin. Yes, so they're great libraries
cool.
ready for something. So next, question in any contract developers is how to deal with these sources, everything. I need to compile them. I need to deploy them. I need to test them, right? So gem number 2, hard hat, like Chris mentioned. This is another like universe, great, like full with so many stuff. So pretty much hard hat is a professional contract environment for development. Everything these guys are giving you is one. I will show you maybe the real command line usage, but you can compile contracts, deploy them, test them to deploy them to different frameworks, in fact. So I in fact created here the small repository. It's named Hard Hat Smart BCH. So yeah, it's in ZH. So if you see the structure of this directory, just it has the contracts directory where this Solidity stuff is going. You put some contracts here. It has one config file, which is, again, the great stuff. You can configure here different networks. So in my stuff, I added the test smart BCH and mainnet. Also, so it's like, how to see, combining a lot of tools. So the final result will be, just let me stop this stuff. So I need to do this a little bigger, right?
Oh, I can see it fine.
Yeah, it's readable.
This guy is exactly where my tabs are.
Mm.
But in general, so this giving you like one environment. For example, what can I do? I can just spin my own chain here. Yard chain. It's starting here. A chain with the 10 addresses. It's using this Galache or something. It's some stuff, but
Ganesh?
Ganache, Ganache, yes, Ganache.
Something like that, yeah.
Yes, but this is the one command. So you can start using this chain for your contracts. For example, let me check if I have. For example, you can also compile. This is obvious, like yarn compile. So it's compiling these contracts, and you can deploy to this test network. See, I have deployed my contracts. But the other greatest is this network. And you can just put here a testnet smart BCH. And if I do this, it will deploy my contracts to some network.
Wow.
And it has this network configs for everything, for Avalanche, for XDAI, for everything. So you just write your contract one time. You can deploy it to every network with just one command.
Wow.
Another,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, another great thing that I think it's like unreplaceable is testing. Testing is how you can test these contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy also have this covered. Just let me. So you can do test. So behind the curtain, it's starting this test network that I showed you before. it's deploying the contract there and it's testing it. So it's a real test on the blockchain.
Oh, so it's actually going to test net. It's not like a regex thing.
Yeah, it's not mocking, nothing. It's deploying it to this testnet network. And the tests are written in usual, like Chai and
Cool.
Mocha, everything. See, you can test your balances, your contracts, like usual JavaScript.
Wow.
This one is, how to see, so much nice than mocking everything and doing stuff.
Yeah.
So only because of this, like Hard Hat needs some awarding. So I mean, yeah. So Hard Hat second gem, like it's like professional development environment for contracts.
Wow.
So where
I'll
do you
deploy test here.
get the testnet coins? Like, is it the same as Bitcoin testnet 3 coins for Bitcoin Cash, or?
No, I get them from somebody. I don't know who is doing them.
Oh,
I will
okay.
send you some. I will show
Okay.
you the next gem after a while from where I can send you some test coins.
Okay. Okay. I'm sure
Okay.
there is or will be a faucet at some point, but yeah.
So Hard Hat, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. I love that you can write the tests in Mocha.
Yeah, it's like I was like, wow. Okay, so we don't need this Hard Hat maybe anymore. Okay, so next talk. So these guys, we don't need them. Okay, so we covered the contract, means the backend. We have the contracts, we make them professional, we compile them, we deploy them. So we have them somewhere on the blockchain, and we have one address where we can send the commands. So next question is how we can send these commands, in fact. So like every full stack application, we have a front end and back end. In usual web, we have some server backend, and we have front end where we can send HTTP requests. With this contract stuff, we have a contract somewhere, and we need some front end which will connect to this RPC and send the commands. So the next gem in the category. This guy, he deserves, like, I don't know, many awards. Austin Griffin guy. He's an Ethereum guy, but since his like specialty burner wallets, so he created like this, for example, Punk wallet. You just go to this page, and you have it's like QR code for the funding, but this is the real wallet. You can send from here. You can receive and send here, and it's like instantly created. Okay, so it's a temporary burn wallet. Yeah. So they tried this on some like events. Like he was talking here. There's some old repository named Burner Wallet. So they used it on some conference. Just let me. Where was this? This Ether Denver. So what they done there was just to create like a small coins, plastic one. Put there the QR code. Just just give it a second. It's just loading. And when you scan this QR code with your mobile, it will give you the wallet without installing anything, because this is the web page. And this wallet is also is funded with some tokens. So you can start immediately go to the that's interesting, and buy coffee with this. Wow. Or you can send this to people. You can earn them from from participating in workshops. So it's a great way to onboard people. So
because I'm familiar with, I have a couple YouTube videos on how to make like paper wallets. And so the QR code's typically a private key and then you sweep the funds, but that's not what this is. This
Right.
is a QR code to a regular web page. And that web page is a burner wallet that's preloaded with coins.
Yes,
Okay.
but in general, it's the same idea like the paper wallet. You just have one private key, which you encode in the QR code. So when the people scan it from this private key, it's creating the wallet. But the interesting is this is the web wallet, so it's fully functional. You can start doing this. So I was like, wow, this guy is like
he's a cypherpunk.
doing some great. Yeah, he's the guy. So I start checking his repositories, and this is the gem number. What is 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe?
4.
Scaffold ET, like scaffold Ethereum. The scaffolding is like fast prototyping. So this repository have already like 245 branches.
Wow.
So pretty much it's a template directory. You start from here and you can do like, see here the examples. You can have NFT, you can have staking smart contract. You can have a DEX. You can have multi-sig, like everything. So the people just clone this repository and create something. And what is great about this one, if you take again a look on this, which was this punk stuff, or it was one more, instawallet.io. I think it's the same guy. Maybe it's not working anymore. Just the punk. Let's go again to the punk. Cyberpunk wallet. So if you take a look, the design is not so great. But what I realized when I checked the repository, all of this small stuff are already components. So you have wallet component, React component. You just put it inside your web page and you have fully functional wallet. Like if you click here, it copy the address, it will open here the wallet with, you can send stuff to people. Cool. So it's ready components. This one is ready component. This one, everything's like, this one is getting the price on the internet. This is the gas price. Everything is the ready component.
And these React components, these are what's in that repository you were just showing us, the scaffold?
Now the code, so you can, so pretty much, and this, everything is full stack application. You have your hard hat directory here. From here, you can put some contracts here, compile them, everything. So your backend is here already. You can deploy them to any network.
Wow.
Like if you see the config file, configs for everything, Polygon, Matic, whatever you want. So your backend is ready. It's hard, the previous gem-based, hard hat-based. And if you go to the React app, this is the other gem for today, the front-end gems.
Gem number 5.
Yeah. So
front-end gem,
here,
we're switching.
The components that we were talking about, it have everything like account, address, or balance, like faucet even. And inside your like main application, you just stuck them like, let me go to the, like here, this the stuff on the top, you just put account and something. If you want to use a faucet, you just put faucet something. So it's ready to go. So what I've done this week was I forked this guy and I ported it to Smart BCH. So now, like in my hard hat directory, I have configs for the testnet Just a second. I have configs for the testnet and for the, maybe it's not this one. It's another branch, but branches. So this smart BCH branch. So I have like hard hat already ported to smart BCH. So I have configs, everything done.
Nice.
And I cleaned some of the stuff because it needed something for the fees. They're not very Ethereum compatible. So, okay, with this saying, let me show you one working example so you can be amazed by this guy.
Well, we're already amazed at what we've shown, so I can't I can't wait to see this.
So, okay, I will first now start the, it's very below this thing. I will just first start my test network because I will working now with the testnet. It's faster. And I would, after this, show you the real deployed stuff to the smart BCH testnet. So I started this one. What this guy is implementing, it's the NFT minting stuff, which is great. So it's uploading some images to Ipfs.
Oh.
Buffalo, zebra, stuff like this one. So it's uploading everything there. And after this, I will deploy the contract, means the minting processor. This also is the standard token inside the. So in order to have this minting NFTs inside the Ethereum word is named ERC721. They have still now extensions, but when you do this stuff, you will have this minting contract. So when you can send some commands there, mint, burn, transfer, stuff like this one. So if you want to see how it looks like,
This is great that it's being recorded so we can see the
Yeah,
URLs and figure out how to get back here.
So yeah. So when you deploy this contract, it will give you several functions. The most important one is mint. So, and you just tell this mint guy the content ID on Ipfs and the address you want to send this token. So let's see if it's already. So I will deploy now this contract to my test network.
Okay.
Because it's the fastest way to try this one. And like we say, this is mostly front end, like candies. So we need some fancy front end.
Okay.
See this one. So what goodies I have here? First, instant wallet. I have this one created. See, I can from here send stuff to people.
Yeah.
I can convert to dollars, but it's not very working now because it's in Ethereum price. But I can grab funds from because see, it's zero now. So I cannot do anything, but I can grab some funds because there is the faucet component, which can do for your token, for example. So you can get a lot of tokens from here.
You got some extra zeros there.
Yeah, just a second. It maybe need, because now it's contacting the contract and updating this stuff. So maybe it can take something, or I make
I
some
see.
mistake.
Okay.
Like,
I get the idea though.
but yeah, but if I don't have funds, I cannot do anything else. So maybe it's still not ready. Ah, it's working still. Okay. The React was still working. It's my old computer. So see, now it's, we are
Oh, there
funded.
you go. Now you're
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah, I can get more. I can get more and more and more and become like millionaire. But yeah, so I have a lot of funds now. Next step is I have some pictures here from IPFS, so I can mint them. So create the real NFT token from them. So I will mint
Cool.
the Bison here. See, transaction sent, and I'm owner already on this one. So it's part of my collectibles. I can send it to other people, to other wallets or something. You can see it's here in the transfer with ID number 1, like for example. So one more goodies on this scaffold is, if you just start it, you can check on your contract. You can test all of the methods here.
Wow.
You don't need to write this.
Cool.
It's by default. You don't need to write a component for every function. It's getting this from the contract code and just creating this debug interface for you. So great. You can start immediately testing your contract from the front end.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's
And it's
great.
already beautiful.
Yeah. And okay, so last gem maybe for today.
We bring more.
Gem number 6.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so just go to this address, art.zhware.net. What I have there is IRC20 token deployed to Smart Bch T. So if you go here now, you can immediately get ready wallet on Smart Bch T without any install, without anything, without configuring MetaMask or something.
Wow.
Just
This
go
is
there
awesome.
and tell me your address. I will send you something.
That is
Cool.
fantastic.
Yeah. And like Chris, if
I
you
think
need,
I went there this morning and I clicked on that connect wallet button and it automatically, like I didn't have MetaMask set up for the test net, and it automatically connected my MetaMask to the network. So
you
I thought
don't
that
need
was pretty
MetaMask.
cool.
This is the fully functional wallet. You can use it without MetaMask from any computer.
Wow.
Yeah,
this
that
is,
I didn't
the one of
realize
the
that at the
great
time,
stuff.
but yeah.
Yeah, but if you have MetaMask, because here I don't have any tokens, anything, you can connect your MetaMask and then you can use this like with your real stuff. So if you want something, just tell me your IP, I will send you something.
So
and the other great stuff is I uploaded some art token. You can see here this art token, and I can send art tokens too, which is how to say, not only BCH, I have already like a community token. So I have wallet with internal tokens. For example, my community art guys, we can exchange these tokens through this.
wow.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
I like how your gems all stacked on top of each other to make something at the end that was really, really already built and beautiful. So that you've actually done and put it onto Smart BCH. Amazing.
Yeah. So
this is great. I'm gonna after this afternoon, I'm gonna try and load this up, and then I'll ping you, or probably your tomorrow and my evening. I'll ping you for some tokens and some testnet coins.
So yeah, this was the good stuff. So what were some of the problems that I faced here? If you if you see these smart contracts, like if you see the code or something, there's nothing about the token image. The problem that we have also on SOP, there's nothing connecting some token to some.
Right.
So I was thinking, and the people start to doing it in different ways already, like these guys from the SOP Foundation, maybe JT, he decided, okay, it's better we stay close to the real SOP. So inside their IRC contracts, he has extended them with additional methods like document URI and document hash, the same with SOP.
Right.
So yeah, this is the one way. We stay close to the BCH and SOP way, so we can after this go easy back. And with this implementation, we again will face the same problem: how to code the media, where to put it, something. But it's compatible with the old way.
Yeah, that's great, because that means it's also compatible with the draft specification that we have for mutable data and token icons.
Yeah. So the other ways, this Ethereum guys, they prefer another way. They have some extension to you, so it's still not how to see. It's still optional, so not all tokens implemented, but you can have a token URI function inside your contract, and it can point to what you want. So my front end can ask this contract, okay, what is the token URL for you? And it will return me something. Maybe it will be IPFS like SID or something. And there you can put something like JSON with name, description, and image, for example. So this is the way the Ethereum stuff seems to go. Because how to see, the NFTs, they already have this one, because every NFT needs media. But for RC20 contracts, the fungible tokens, they still don't have a standard. So we have now these two ways to go. So
cool, man. Yeah, thank you for pointing those out.
So usually when you open your MetaMask, most of the tokens will be like somebody sent me honk, but there's no image attached to it. So is it the real one or not the real one? I'm not sure. So the MetaMask, they have some another stupid stuff that they decided. Let me just. So they implemented some call in the Ethereum, like JavaScript libraries, which this call you can send some parameters to MetaMask, and it will add the token to the MetaMask with some parameters. So the address, the symbol, decimals, image, something like this one. So these guys that start doing the new tokens on the smart BCH, they already there's some page here with some like valid tokens, and when you there's this add button. When you click this add button, it's now executing this code. So it's asking me to add something, but inside the code there's again no image, so it's nothing to add here. But for my tokens,
so
for my tokens, I decided I can, like for example, inside my this art guy, I have one art icon which is on the pinata. So here, when I put some HTTP, or in the moment HTTP and I click here, it will add the image to the token. So I've already done this for my tokens. So as you can see, my token have already icon. So this contract, this interface here have also this ability. If you create if you fork it, create your own token, PCF token, you can allow people to add some image to this token in MetaMask.
Nice.
So yeah, the question then is, okay, so how we found this contract address is the valid one and the logo for all the tokens, how the great big Ethereum guys are doing this? Because like Uniswap, it have thousands of tokens and all of them are with icons, right? So since Uniswap started something named token list, where's the repository?
It's so interesting to me that everybody took the easy route and created GitHub repos and permissioned token icons. Nobody came up with a protocol.
Yeah. So these guys, they are just maintaining a huge JSON file with in the specific format. It's valid format. There is the JSON schema for these guys for this file, but they created for every network.
Wow.
Like this standard format, which is like name, address, symbol, and here is the logo.
Wow.
So they just maintaining this list. So if somebody want to add token to this list, he sent a pull request, they added it here, and they deployed this list on somewhere on IPFS or somewhere. And there's also one more stuff, the Trust Wallet. This is the Binance wallet. They have this asset repository, which is a huge, source of information for resources on the blockchains. It has directory for every blockchain.
Wow.
And inside every directory, like for example, let's get some famous one. Harmony, it's nuance. Okay, Harmony. There's like info for this blockchain. Like again, in the same format. Some links to the sites, contracts, stuff like this one. They also have here the tokens. It's like, and everybody just forking this stuff, patching it with his own stuff. Like for example, the Sushi Swap. They done this. They forked the Uniswap one, added their stuff. They forked Asset one, they added their one. So this is the way the big Ethereum guys are dealing with these contracts and logos and contract addresses and everything.
Wow.
So yeah, I just before several hours forked this token list also. And I can have, if you just get this repository, there's just a yarn build, which will build you such a list for the smart BCH. So this is the testnet. I just put there my token there, and for the mainnet, there's the prove it one, the one that I told before. So you just fork or get this repository, and you just execute yarn build, and it will build you a list. You can test this list if it's in the valid format, and you can use it in your dexes or everything. So I already announced this stuff. Oh, already somebody sent me a pull request. Mazi token, yes. So when I updated it with some logos and stuff like this one, we can do. So he already fixed the stuff to the real logos. So I can now with one click add this token to my MetaMask, for example.
Nice.
So this is maybe the way to standardize a little the current chaos in the contracts and tokens.
Yeah. That's really
Yes.
interesting to see how the different ways that they're doing this, like the different Ethereum developers
Yeah.
are approaching this.
Sorry
problem.
for the very, very, very long talk.
It's
I hope
fantastic.
it
All
was
the gems?
enjoyable.
Yeah, that was great. Amazing. And in fact, the fact that it was recorded means you can go back and look at all the URLs and see what's going on. So yeah, otherwise we'd be going, oh, where do we store all this stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah. Thank you for that brain dump, Stoyan. That was incredible. I'm a little overwhelmed. I think anybody watching this is going to feel overwhelmed right now, but yeah, like you said, thankfully it's recorded. And so we can go back and look at all this information, digest it.
Yes,
I'll be looking over it again.
Yeah,
for
I'm not
sure.
sure what will be the future, but since they're already getting a lot of attention with this smart BCH, so I hope they attract a lot of money and interest for BCH.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, it's been about an hour and a half, so we should wrap this up. Just a couple closing thoughts I wanted to put out there. Those videos I linked to in the agenda, one of them, the pay to write database one, it showed the Explorer. I didn't get a chance to really go over that today, but I encourage people to check that out. It's neat. You can write data to the database and see it pop up in the Block Explorer on it's a web page. And I also, another thing I forgot to give you guys an update on was Shapeshift. I've been working really closely with Shapeshift as they transition from a corporate entity into a DAO. I think I've interacted with most of the engineers that are on staff, and most of them are going to transition into the DAO. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of room for synergy between the PSF and Shapeshift. They just open sourced all their software for their trading platform, and their software stack is called Unchained, and it's on Shapeshift or on GitHub. GitHub/Shapeshift, and then the repo is called Unchained. And it's very similar to the Cash stack. I mean, the architecture is the same. It's just like the actual tools that they use are a little different. So they have Ethereum integrated right now, and they are in the process of integrating BTC. And then they are poised to leverage Thorchain once they come back online.
Right.
And so this has been a great opportunity for me to understand more about how does one tap into Thorchain, because that was something I couldn't find any really good documentation on. And also I think I'm probably going to be helping them, or at least following along and understanding how they do BTC, and then that will tee us up to integrate Bitcoin Cash, eCash, and Avalanche into their platform for trading. So I just wanted to give that update. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Does anybody have any final thoughts?
I had a question for Stoyan, because I uploaded an NFT to jungle.net and it still says unverified. And I have contacted them twice now to see what is the process of verification. I was wondering, Stoyan, if you knew anything about that.
It's very complicated stuff. You just need to be programmer, not the usual guy, because first you need to fork the SOP Explorer repository.
Mm-hmm.
This is how to see. From here it starts to be bad.
Yeah.
How to see the simple ledger.info, this Explorer, you need to fork it. Inside there is the JSON file.
Yeah.
And inside there is you need to put your, what was the path to the base? So something, you need to put something. I will find the link and send it to you later.
Yeah.
But first, this one also, you need to create somewhere, pretty much on everybody making this on GitHub, a repository with images, but in specific formats, 32 by 34, 65 by 65, something. You need to create all of these first. Then you need to mint, I think you need to mint your group token or something.
Yeah, group token.
Then put this group token transaction ID inside this JSON file, make a pull request so they can check all of your images. Are they valid? Are they like, how to see, copyrighted, everything? After this, someday, in my case, after 20 days or something, they will merge this JSON inside the main repository. And when this happens, your NFT images will start showing on a simple ledger info. When you go to your repository address, you can see the image there. In the moment, there will be nothing. And when this happens, they will be also viewable and verified on Django.
Right.
Huh.
So
So
it's a pretty complicated.
Not permissionless right now.
Somebody put, I will send you a link. There is the read.cache article, how to do
Right.
this step by step.
There's a read.cache article that goes through every bit of it, and Stoyan's seen it.
You just follow this one, but I'm not sure. Is it like worth it to trade their tokens? I'm not sure what is the prices now, but before there was awful, just like automatically generated images, ponies, waifus, and they just get them and resell them for the bigger price. There's not like, there was just several real artists that are trying there, but most of them does not making any money. So I know.
So to integrate all this stuff, this is why I think the pay-to-write database is such a big deal, is because it's a decentralized, censorship-resistant database, and we could take NFTs on the Bitcoin Cash chain, we can take tokens on the Smart BCH chain, and and do something like what Waifu does, which is a marketplace of tokens, and then we can leverage our mutable data spec to make the icons permissionless, make it a protocol. And then, I love what you showed us today, Stoyan, because that fits in so nicely with, I really think we could build a marketplace for tokens that seamlessly spans both the Bitcoin Cash main chain and the Smart BCH chain, especially if we can just boil everything on Smart BCH into a React component. So you don't actually need to I think that we could make the experience of tokens on either chain, pretty seamless.
Right on.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to mention one thing. I just think that the El Salvador thing, there's so much going on with that, and a country actually adopting a crypto as their own thing is going to change a lot of things. Now it feels like the Lightning Network is the only way it can work in its current form, because you can't possibly get that many people on chain with BTC, but that's a big thing. In fact, it's funny, even later today, I work at Amway, and I'm actually working to make so our company can accept BTC. So but you have to do Lightning, and most people don't even know, people are dealing with this, aren't even aware that all of this exists. So all of a sudden they're expected just to create all this stuff. And it is interesting to see. So it's kind of fun to be a part of that, because I didn't even think about it after hearing about all this. So I'm excited about that. But this has been a great hour and a half, 2 hours almost of learning and story, and you blew us all away. So thank you.
Yeah, man, that's great, Aaron, that you're looking into Lightning. You're probably aware of this, but just in case you aren't, Andreas Antonopoulos has Mastering the Lightning Network on GitHub. It's not in hard copy yet, but it is finished and it is available. I've been reading through it because one of the things you can do in Lightning is you can attach a memo field to every Lightning transaction. And so I would like to build a Lightning interface for the pay-to-write database so that people can make a Lightning transaction with a memo field and have that added, and then pay to have that added to the pay-to-write database. So just
awesome.
one more chain to integrate into the database. Excellent.
That's great thought. Thank you.
Yeah. So let me know what hurdles you hit along the way of your integration.
I know.
I'm probably going to be going down that road as well.
Excellent. Thanks.
Okay, guys. Well, man, great meeting. This was packed. I'm going to have to watch this a couple times to get all of the gems in this. So yeah, looks like we got a couple. Okay, we got that read cache article there. Okay, well, let's wrap this up. I will see you guys on the Telegram channel, and 2 weeks we'll have another meeting.
Sounds good.
Cheers.